Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Thursday, October 29th, 2015. Around 6:18 in the morning, Belleville, Massachusetts. Starting off with some rain showers today and stuff. Some places in eastern New England are getting heavy downpours. And it's very warm around the upper 50s, which you don't see too much this time of year. Around this time of day and stuff, it's usually freezing out. And if we get any sunshine, going to be in the 70s, which is pretty good. It's bonus days. Long range forecast for next week could be flirting with 70 again next week. So those are bonus days and stuff like that. Some news to report. Boston Celtics beat the Philadelphia 76ers by a score of 112-95 in the season opener. Celtics 1-0. The 76ers are 0-1, going to be a long season for the Philadelphia 76ers. They'll be lucky to win 15 to 18 games. And the Kansas City Royals beat the New York Mets by the score of 7-1. They're up 2-0 in the series. Goes back to Citi Field for games 3, 4, and possibly game 5 if necessary and stuff. And the Royals are halfway there to win their first World Series in 30 years and stuff. I don't know if the Mets will come back from this deficit and stuff, but it'll be interesting. And it's Happy National Cat Day. And that's about it on news. My first video subject of the day is about my review of Halloween Havoc 1999 WCW pay-per-view from Las Vegas, Nevada at the MGM Grand Arena. This was the 11th and next to last Halloween Havoc for WCW. The main event was Sting versus Hulk Hogan and stuff, but I'll tell you more what happened at that match. Plus there was other matches. No dark matches for the crowd for Las Vegas. So all of these matches happened on the pay-per-view, which was called by Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and the Professor, Mike Tenay. The first match was for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. It was Disco Fever! Disco Fever! Disco Fever! Yeah. The Disco Inferno was WCW Cruiserweight Champion, facing off against Lash LaRue. It was a competitive match back and forth. Disco went about in 10 minutes with like an innovative atomic drop. Pins LaRue for the 1-2-3, but LaRue is a sore loser. He attacks Disco after the match, gives him the Death Valley Driver, and lays the belt on him. What a sore loser Lash LaRue was, losing the match and going on a tirade. The next match was for the WCW World Tag Team Championship in a triple threat match. It was Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray facing off against Conan and Kidman, who was supposed to be Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr., but Rey Mysterio Jr. hurt his knee. That they were the Filthy Animals with Tori Wilson, and and Brian Knobbs and Hugh Morris with Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. And Conan and Kidman were the de facto WCW World Tag Team Champions at this time, because it was actually Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr. So Kidman was defending the titles against him. This was only a 5-minute match. Harlem Heat, Booker T pinned Hugh Morris, and the stipulation of this match, which team ever got the pinfall, was going to be WCW World Tag Team Champions. Harlem Heat wins the WCW World Tag Team Championship. It was an awful match and stuff. The champions did not get pinned and stuff. So those are consequences when you're in triple threat matches. The champions could lose the titles, but don't get pinned. The next match was Eddie Guerrero, I lie, I cheat, I steal, facing off against Perry Saturn. Perry Saturn was representing Revolution and Eddie Guerrero, the Filthy Animals. This was kind of a no contest because the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair came in and attacked both men. It was an awful match and stuff, so it's a pass. Next match was Brad Armstrong facing off against Berlin, who is Alex Wright, and he has bodyguard who was the Wall. And this was about a 5-minute match and stuff. Brad Armstrong pulls off the upset by pinning Berlin after Berlin accidentally bumps into his bodyguard, the Wall, and Brad Armstrong takes advantage and pins him 1, 2, 3. Brad Armstrong was an underrated wrestler in my humble opinion and stuff. He was kind of like a journeyman wrestler, but he could put on good matches. Very surprising he did not get like a major push in the WCW and stuff as like maybe a US title contender and stuff like that. Very underrated. The next match was for the WCW Television Championship. It was the Crippler Chris Benoit, who was the reigning WCW Television Championship, facing off against the dog-faced gremlin Rick Steiner. It was a good match, back and forth, but the referee gets knocked out, and Dean Malenko, who was friends with Chris Benoit, they were part of Revolution, had a chair, and he was going to hit Rick Steiner with it, but he hits his friend Chris Benoit, and turning on him, Rick Steiner takes the advantage of it, pins Benoit for the 1, 2, 3, and we have a new WCW Television Champion in Rick Steiner. And then Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn hug afterwards. The next match was the total package. Lex Luger facing off against Bret the Hitman Hart. Luger was with Miss Elizabeth. This was an awful match and stuff. Luger wins by a submission by putting a half crab on Bret the Hitman Hart. The next match was for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It was Sting, who turned heel, who was the WCW World Champion, facing off against Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan comes out in street clothes. He tells something to Sting, and he lays down for Sting, and then Sting pins him 1, 2, 3 to retain the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and the crowd was saying BS, 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 BS. There were some creative problems between Hulk Hogan and WCW at this point about the direction of his character and stuff, and this was kind of a work shoot, but it was very, very awful. The next match was for the United States Championship. It was the man, the master, and the ruler of the world, the WCW United States Champion, Sid Vicious, who was having an undefeated streak. He made up an undefeated streak just to mark Bill Goldberg's undefeated streak he had, which was ended in 1998, facing off against Bill Goldberg. And this was a smudge and stuff like that, only about 8 minutes and stuff. Bill Goldberg wins via referee stopping the match with the blood, and Bill Goldberg becomes the United States Championship and stuff. And then afterwards, Sid was getting mad. Several referees were trying to help him, but he didn't want his help. He even pushed his friend Rick Steiner and stuff. Afterwards, Bill Goldberg was attacked by the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. The next match was a strap match. It was the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair, facing off against DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. You love me, you hate me, you never forget me, with Kimberly in his corner. And this was an okay strap match. DDP wins it with the diamond cut on Flair. And during the match, David Flair, Ric Flair's son, was stalking Kimberly and stuff. This was, not that great and stuff. And then they had an impromptu main event. It was WCW World Champion Sting putting his WCW title on the line against the U.S. Champion Goldberg and stuff. And Goldberg beat Sting in about 3 minutes, giving him the jackknife. and the spear, and pinning him 1, 2, 3. So Bill Goldberg becomes the new WCW World Champion. Afterwards, Sting goes on a rampage and gives the Scorpion death drop to the referee and stuff like that. And this ends Halloween Havoc 1999. This Halloween Havoc was very, very poor. I give it a F. So many screwy matches and stuff, and especially Hogan and Sting, like Hogan laying down for Sting, kind of doing the JOB at the PPV and stuff. This is the continuing decline of WCW and stuff. And this was the next to last Halloween Havoc pay-per-view. Tomorrow I'm going to review the last Halloween Havoc ever, 2000, which happened at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. The last 5 WCW Halloween Havocs were at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada and stuff. Coming in November, I'll be reviewing lots of WWE Survivor Series, and in December I'll be reviewing a lot of Starcades. Later on today, my video blog on the team of the 1990s in baseball, the Atlanta Braves, and third and final video blog of the night about 2 weather things that happened on this date, October 29th. The unusual early snowstorm of 2011, and Hurricane/Superstorm Sandy. Tell you about them. And I always say, keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Julie brought in News 6, Orlando, Florida. I'm always mentioned on a Facebook chat around 7:15 in the evening. She rocks, so thumbs up to you, Julie. Molly Rosenblunt of Fox 35 Orlando rocks, and she has nice legs. Elizabeth Hutt of News 6 is so stunning. Amy Swansea of Reach 2 rocks. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out! See you later, Facebook, YouTube,